Welcome, marketing mavens, to another episode of the Marketing Science Lab podcast. I'm Alex, your resident data nerd and digital marketing enthusiast.
And I'm Sophie, bringing you the human side of marketing strategy. Today we're diving into some fascinating research that might just shake up your influencer marketing game.
That's right, we're talking about a hot topic in the Journal of Research in Interactive Marketing, the double-edged sword of influencer sponsorship disclosure.
Oh, sounds intriguing. But before we dive in, let's set the scene. Picture this. You're scrolling through Instagram, and your favorite influencer is raving about a new skincare product. Do you ever wonder, is this a genuine recommendation or a paid ad?
Well, it turns out that's exactly what researchers have been investigating. And the results? Let's just say they're not as straightforward as you might think.
I'm on the edge of my seat here. What did they find?
Well, the study looked at how disclosing sponsorships affects brand attitudes. And here's where it gets interesting. Disclosure actually boosts perceived authenticity.
Wait, really? So being upfront about it being an ad makes people trust the influencer more?
Exactly. It's like the influencer is saying, hey, I'm keeping it real with you. And that authenticity rubs off on the brand too.
That's fascinating. It goes against the conventional wisdom that people automatically distrust ads.
But hold on, there's a twist. While disclosure increases perceived authenticity, it also triggers what the researchers call perceived manipulative intent.
So it's like people are thinking, thanks for being honest, but now I know you're trying to sell me something.
Precisely. And here's where it gets even more complex. These two perceptions, authenticity and manipulative intent, are constantly influencing each other.
It's like a mental tug of war in the consumer's mind.
Exactly. And the strength of this effect varies depending on how prominent the disclosure is. The more obvious the sponsor label, the stronger both the positive and negative effects.
So it's a real balancing act for marketers. Be transparent, but not too in your face about it.
And that's not all. The study also found that the impact of disclosure varies based on a consumer's thinking style.
Oh, tell me more about that. Are we talking about different personality types?
Sort of. The research distinguishes between experiential thinkers, those who go with their gut, and rational thinkers who are more analytical.
Let me guess, they respond differently to sponsorship disclosures.
Bingo. Experiential thinkers tend to focus more on the authenticity boost from disclosure. They're more likely to appreciate the honesty and develop positive brand attitudes.
While rational thinkers are probably the ones setting off those manipulation alarms, right?
You've got it. They're more likely to scrutinize the motives behind the disclosure and potentially develop negative brand attitudes.
This is fascinating stuff, but I can already hear our listeners asking, okay, but what does this mean for my marketing strategy?
Great question. First and foremost, it underscores the importance of knowing your audience. Well, if your target market tends to be more experiential, leaning into transparent disclosures could be beneficial.
And if they're more on the rational side?
Then you might want to be more subtle with your disclosures and focus on creating content that feels genuinely valuable and less overly commercial.
It's really about finding that sweet spot, isn't it? Being transparent enough to build trust, but not so much that you trigger skepticism.
Exactly. And this is where the art and science of marketing really come together. We need to use data to understand our audience thinking styles, but also creatively craft messages that resonate authentically.
I love that. It's not just about slapping on an ad hashtag and calling it a day. We need to think about how to weave disclosure naturally into the content.
Absolutely. And this research suggests that when done right, disclosure can actually work in our favor. It's not just about legal compliance. It's a tool for building trust and authenticity.
This reminds me of a campaign I saw recently. The influencer actually made a joke about it being a sponsored post, but then went on to genuinely talk about why they love the product. It felt refreshingly honest.
That's a great example of balancing transparency with authentic content. It's about creating a narrative of openness rather than just fulfilling a legal requirement.
So if I'm a marketer listening to this, what are my key takeaways?
Great question. I'd say there are 5 main points. 1, know your audience's thinking style. Are they more experiential or rational? 2, find the right balance in disclosure prominence. Be clear but not overpowering. 3, Focus on creating authentic, valuable content that integrates the sponsored message naturally. 4. Educate your influencers about the impact of their disclosure practices. 5. Consider using AI and data analytics to personalize disclosure strategies based on individual consumer preferences.
Those are fantastic points. I'd add one more. Don't be afraid of transparency. This research shows that honesty can actually boost your brand's perception if done right.
Absolutely, it's about embracing the complexity of modern consumer psychology and using it to create more meaningful connections.
Well, folks, I don't know about you, but my mind is buzzing with ideas after this discussion. Any final thoughts for our listeners?
I'd say this, in the world of influencer marketing, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Keep experimenting, keep analyzing the data, and most importantly, keep it real.
And remember, marketing friends, authenticity isn't just a buzzword, it's becoming a powerful tool in building brand trust. Use it wisely.
That's all we have time for today. Thanks for tuning in to the Marketing Science Lab podcast. Until next time, keep innovating and stay curious.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review if you enjoyed the show. See you next time.